Welcome back, everyone, to another installment of From Broken to Worlds, where I try to train myself to qualify for the World's Masters Highland Games Championship in 2027. Today was an interesting workout. It's actually a couple days ago now. I've just been busy and haven't been able to make this. And so I start out with my low deadlifts, and today my knees felt really good on this day. Today as well, but on this day they felt really good, and you'll be able to see kind of the if you remember last one, I couldn't lift the heaviest working set because my knees weren't allowing me to, but today, even though the bar set at a lower depth, I consider this a full depth, even though it's not quite, it's not even an inch from the ground. So I put it on the safeties so I don't make a lot of racket, because I usually work out in the morning, and this is about 5 in the morning. I don't want to wake everybody up. But you'll see when I get to my top set of 365 that it moves quite well. So I was really happy with that today. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my barbell that I'm using here. This is from a company called Iron Bowl out of Quebec. And this is a stainless steel barbell. The reason I chose stainless steel is it's very rust resistant on the one hand, and on the other hand, because the material itself is resistant, there isn't any sort of paint or coating in between you and the metal, so you get a really nice feel, tactile feel with the barbell in your hands. Now you'll see I'm doing the shoulder press, and you will see when I get to the top set that I actually fail on them. But after thinking about it after and reviewing the tape, as it were, I've determined that a lot of my problem is due to form. They're very slight form breakages in my lift. They're not like major, so I didn't identify it right away. But the lower sets, like, it doesn't even matter when it's lower intensity. But once you get to what is the higher weight for you, little breaks in form really make a big difference. And especially with this lift. Other lifts you can kind of grind through. But this lift, it's very form dependent whether you'll be successful or not. So, I think if I remember correct, this next one will maybe my top weight. Let's see how many I do. No, it's the next one will be my top weight. You'll see I'll be able to bang off 5 here. But you can see, if you look, sometimes they go up pretty quickly, and then sometimes they kind of take a while, like that one there. And the reason is because my form is I failed. Because my form is off, and what I'm doing is I'm not going far enough back to put it up. But if you review the tape and look at it, you'll see my left wrist wrap came off during that lift. So I was distracted as well. I had a wardrobe malfunction, as it were. So you can see this time I make sure I put on the wraps much more securely. But it's funny how like sometimes little things, not big things, but little things can make a big difference when you're kind of working at the margins of your ability, of your strength. Little difference, little changes, little change-ups make a big difference. So as you can see, I failed the last one, partly, well, it was due to form, but partly because I was distracted. So you can see that one was hard. That one went way up easy, a lot easier. And it has to do with slight changes in my form. So it's good to record yourself, but it's also good to think and do an analysis when you fail as to why you fail or why it's being difficult, more difficult than you imagine. And a lot of times it has to do with form. So I'm going to really focus on my form. Yeah, that one I went out in front, so by the time this one comes, I'm like, eh. All right, so this is back to the Penley rows. They felt pretty good. Sometimes I have a hard time setting up properly for these because it's close to how you'd set up for a deadlift, but not exactly. So sometimes I set up for a deadlift, and when I pull up, it's like, that's not right. Sometimes I set up, so where the weight's too far in front. So yeah, sometimes I have a little bit difficulty getting the proper positioning, but yeah, it's not that big of a deal. And I believe this is my last, or my working set, not my last. So far I haven't used wraps for this lift yet. Oh no, this is my second last, or my second heaviest. I'll go to the heaviest. Not the most flattering shot right there, but anyways, that's, I guess, part of it. And chalk seems to work very well. If you're also having trouble with a lift that particularly involves pulling of some kind, maybe chalk might help. Maybe that'll make things easier. It's a weird kind of phenomena that if your grip is not tight, not well, it'll feel heavier in your back. I think I've heard somewhere where your mind just recognizes that your grip isn't there, so it sends a signal actually to your back and creates kind of like almost like a feedback that makes your back feel like you can't lift it. So if you get a secure grip, you don't get that feedback, and the lifts feel really good. So yeah, that's something to consider as well on your pulling exercises, whether it's chin-ups, Penley rows, cleans, whatever it happens to be. Make sure when you're done with your exercises to put everything back out of the way, nice and clean. All right, guys. Well, and I hope you enjoyed that.